Hey, Andrea here, founder of Confidence Story and creator of GTM Split. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make sure that your experiments are running correctly inside Google Tag Manager. Unlike other split testing platforms, GTM Split makes it very easy to switch from one experiment to another, from one variant to another, so that you can test that everything is rendering correctly. This used to be possible with Google Optimize. There was just a cookie there, you added the cookie, you changed the experiment. Other platforms have different approaches to this, overcomplicated in my opinion, so GTM Split makes it really easy, and now I'm gonna show you how it works. So in the previous video, we imported the configuration for two experiments, and now we're gonna make sure they work. So I hit preview, I go with the tag assistant, confidencestory.com, connect, and this opens the preview window. Now I can already see that I am in one experiment. It's a home page experiment, and this is modifying the home page. I can already see that because I'm missing two buttons. So how do we understand on which experiment we have been enrolled? You just right click, open the inspector, which pops up, of course, in a different screen. So here it is. You go on application and you look for the cookie GTM Split. It's underscore GTM Split. Here you find the name of the experiment, X124, and the variation B. This is the timestamp of when the user was enrolled in this experiment. Okay, so it's all very, very easy, all very, very simple. If I want to switch variant, I just double click on the cookie and replace B with A. Always use capital letters. And now if I go back on the page and reload it, I will see A, which is the control. This is my home page, okay, with the three buttons here. So you have seen the experiment is working 100%, it's super easy. Now let's see, I will show you the debug log. So again, inspect. When GTM Split is running and you are in preview, it generates a log like this. Okay, now let's clean the log. Click this button here and let's reload the page. So now we get, I'm doing this so we get a clean log and I can show you. So this is the debug that again you see only in the preview. For users, they will never see this, okay? So this is all automatic, you don't have to think about that. So here you see GTM Split is starting, and every action it takes, every decision it makes, it's logged. So first it says that the experiment we are enrolled in with the cookie, it doesn't start until 4 days from now, okay? And this is correct because the experiment was scheduled, but because we are previewing it, we need a way to see it, even if it's not current. The preview overrides the dates and it will show you the experiment anyway. Okay, so that's why we're seeing the experiment despite the experiment being scheduled in the future. Then it says that it is serving existing experiment from cookie and it's experiment 124A, correct. Then it starts the rendering for the experiment, correct. After rendering, it pushes an event in the data layer, and this event is used to hook the analytics platform you're using. And there is a video on how to do that, how to connect the event to the analytics platform, G4, post-hoc, amplitude, mix panel, whatever it is that you're using, it doesn't matter. You can always connect it with GTM Split through this particular event. And the information that is passed is the experiment ID, the number of the experiment, and the variation that we are rendering, okay? So then the render is completed, and then the last action is always the redirect tracking, which actually works only for redirect experiments. This is not a redirect experiment, so it doesn't do anything. For a redirect experiment, it just fires this same event experiment on the final page after the redirect. So we know that the experiment has been rendered correctly, and we send this information to the analytics platform. Now, if you remember, we have two experiments in this setup. We just saw 124. We have to check 123. This was the redirect experiment. And so let's do that now. Let's go back here on the inspector. How do we switch experiment? We go on application, you look for the cookie GTM split, here it is. And here all you have to do is to change the number of the experiment. So I put 123 and I want to see B. So I want to see the redirect to the manifesto version of the GTM split page. Again, this was the setup of the experiment was done in another video. If you haven't seen that, you can go watch the video now. But so you modify the cookie like this. Now, when I go back in the page here, so this one, if I run it from here, so reload, nothing will happen because I'm not on the right page, I'm not on the right URL. So if I go to inspect and I look at the inspector in console, you see here it says cookie experiment active, but this page is not in its scope. So keeping assignment and skipping all experiment on this page. Okay, so we're looking here for exp123, but exp123 fires on /GTM split. So we have to go on that page to make this work. So we go back on the page that's connected to the assistant. We have to change URL. It's this one here. So this is GTM split. I click here, goes on GTM split, and I am on the manifesto. So this is a redirect. I can see it from here because the starting URL is this, but I'm actually on a different one. And also here I have this URL parameter that tells me that this is experiment 123B. All right. So everything is working, and I hope you understand how the engine works here. You don't need to know all these things, but I'm showing you to give you full control of what is possible with GTM split, right? So other platforms, you blindly trust that they will work, all right? And in many cases, they don't. That's the fun thing. People are paying thousands per month, and then the experiments don't even run how they are supposed to run. True story. I have verified this myself with my clients, and then I said, you know what, let's use GTM split. It's yeah, you don't have to pay for that. It's free, and it's way faster and it's way better. It renders better experiments. So last check on this. Let's see the A version of this. So again, I go on application. I already have the filter here. So I see only one cookie. Beautiful. So I put A here. And this is now my cookie. If I go on the page, and remember now I cannot reload this page, I have to go back on GTM split, so /GTM split. This is still a redirect, and you see it's not GTM split, it's a version control GTM split experiment exp123A, so it does redirect no matter what. And this is important because if you run an experiment, a redirect experiment, and only one version is the redirect, you're actually measuring the effect of the redirect on the perception of the user. So both versions must have the redirect because the user has to wait a little bit for the redirect to work. So that plays into the experience, and I believe that both versions should redirect. That's how GTM Split is built. Now, one thing I want to show you, in case you didn't notice, there is no flicker whatsoever. You never see the original page before the redirect or before we apply the changes. Why? Because I took extra care to fix the flickering. So GTM Split always gates the page and hides it before it's rendered. Okay, so there is a little snippet of code you have to place on your page only once, and I have a video for that explains how to do it. Okay, but once that is done, you will never see flicker on GTM Split. So let's reload the variation B and let's make special attention to the flickering. So we're doing some exercise here with a cookie. So I go here, I write B, and now that I have the right cookie, the one of the manifesto, I have to go on the GTM Split page. So home page, then I click here. Now, when I click here, you will see only the manifesto page. You will never see the original, so that's the point of this little test here. So check it out. Black, manifesto. You see, zero flicker whatsoever. And so this was how to use the cookie to render different experiments and different variations, and always make sure that everything is set up correctly. Once you are done with this, you just close the preview window, you go on your tag manager and you hit submit. I suggest you name it like exp123 and exp124 on. Why? Because then in the history you can see exactly the date when you switched on these two experiments. Then when you switch them off, the name will be like exp123 off, exp124 off, and this keeps a nice record in the history in Tag Manager of your experimentation program. So you can always know, besides what the UI here says, you can always know from Tag Manager on which date and time you published each experiment. Okay, so you hit publish and you're good to go. Before I close this video, I want to leave you with a couple of notes on the cookie. So every user can have only one cookie, so it can be enrolled in one experiment at a time. The cookie persists until that experiment is running. If the experiment runs out of time, so it's over, then the cookie will be automatically removed and the user can be enrolled in another experiment. If in the UI you close the experiment or you schedule it for the future, then the cookie is also removed. So the cookie is kept alive until the experiment is running, and this is all automatic. Okay, so it ensures that everyone can be in one experiment only at a time. This is important, otherwise people see two different experiments and you don't know which one is conditioning them. So no overlapping possible in GTM Split. I hope all of this is clear. I know it's a lot of information to take in. Watch the video again. Everything you should know about the mechanics of how GTM Split works is in this very video. And I would say that's it for this one. I will see you at the next one. Ciao.